Welcome to another episode of my Motortown playthrough. Today we are going to try out the upgraded Terra in the Quarry. Yeah, this is of course my own. It has the upgraded engine, which gives it about 112 more horsepower compared to the stock version. I've voiced my complaints about the stock one in detail for quite a while now, so I'm going to spare you the whole thing. Apart from me just repeating that it's just stupidly sluggish and not fun to drive, at least not in my opinion. That bit more engine power kinda fixes it. This thing is actually pretty fun, and I honestly wish this was what the stock one was like. So we are going to take it around different pickup locations inside the quarry and then do a few deliveries here. Keep in mind that this thing also costs about 640k, just the base truck plus the engine. So it's not really a wise investment. It's really only meant to be inside the quarry, and while the job doesn't pay too badly, I don't think there's enough money in here to ever justify buying this thing. Unless you do it for fun and have the money to spare. But if you really just need to make a few deliveries, get yourself the Atlas dump. It performs better overall than this truck, and it's also much more versatile, so you're going to have a good time with that. This one is more for endgame fun once you don't really know what to do with the money anymore, and you have everything that you need. One big feature about this truck is that it comes with its own GPS, which will always point you towards the pickup point with the most cargo available. It's usually going to be this one, which also has the highest capacity. I hate this spot. This one has sand right in front of it, and so much that you can actually get stuck there. The Atlas cannot even make it in there at all, which I guess is a bit of an attempt at balancing the whole thing. But even the Terra sinks in, and you will have to crawl back out at around 4 kilometers per hour, which is really not that fun. So I will avoid that one at all costs. We are going to go to this place instead. I'm just gonna go around here and take this route. I think turning around here would just be a bit longer. But yeah, the truck overall, pretty fun, pretty neat, and thankfully with how the entire quarry is constructed, the location where you need to drop off your cargo is going to be very far down. It's going to be on the top of that factory structure over there. And that means that you are going to be empty when going up the hill and loaded when going down the hill, which makes the entire thing a bit more fun than if you had to go up any significant hill with the truck being loaded. There are going to maybe be a few minor hills that you have to climb up with cargo, but it's not going to be anything major. Maybe like this slope here, this could be, or something like this could be that you would have to go up, so it would slow down, but it wouldn't be the end of the world, really. So let's go back around here. Getting inside of the pickup point where we want to go to. There's also a good thing with how sturdy and large the truck is, as in you can just take a lot of the slopes down. It just doesn't really damage the truck. So that's a good tactic if you want to go that route. And yeah, it's also kind of adding to the fun here. You can also do a lot of the stuff with the Atlas, but it's the Atlas. It's gonna be good regardless. I might even switch over to the Atlas for the second half of the episode. I don't know. We'll see about it. But yeah, let's pick up the stuff. We can even accelerate it by just holding the load button that it tells me. That's also another new feature, and it should be made a bit quicker sooner than later. There's this weird thing going on where in any type of menu, if you have something that you can hold down in order to change the setting or so, it's going to be much quicker if you do so with a mouse than with a controller, and I hope they finally fix that. But yeah, this slope is something that we have to go up in order to get back down, at least with a regular route. And with the stock truck, climbing up some of the steeper slopes here while empty wasn't that much better than this. So that's where a lot of my complaints came from. Also, I think capacity-wise the truck could just be a bit larger. I've seen how much they overload it in real life. It's quite a bit more. Would also wish that the mount on the back would actually reflect that with how much they overload in real life, because that would just look quite a lot better. Quite a bit better, quite a lot better, or whatever. But yeah, overall, the upgraded truck is in a good place right now. I just wish we had that for the stock one as well, because I just want people to have a good time in the quarry. And since this will never really be worth it to purchase, having good performance stock is what I think the truck needs, but at the end of the day, at least we can buy it now and get performance that way. It's been a long discussion about this whole thing, which is also why I'm bringing it up so much. But yeah, a few other things I want to talk about today. Let's start with things regarding the last episode. I wasn't really having the best time carrying the delivery Terra over the main road of OG to this place here. It's yeah, quite a long journey and not always a fun one with how many steep and continuous climbs I have to deal with. So yeah, I actually tried out something else after that episode. I wanted to figure out if maybe going to the coastal road was more worthwhile than sticking to the central road. So let's just quickly unload here and then I'll show you what I mean on the map. So usually to get the Terra from the factory, the shortest route is going to be sticking to the central road, maybe going to Bayang for a bit of fuel and then getting on the coastal road and bringing it down into the quarry. However, you could theoretically also go towards Ara, then take this coastal road and maybe have a bit more fun that way, because at least you're avoiding these two very long and sluggish climbs over here. This one, for example, and then I think the other major one starts somewhere over here and goes up until this point. Those really slow down the pace quite a lot, and it's not that fun. And after doing this and comparing to the other route from what I did in my video, it's not really that much faster. It seems to be pretty much around the same time that you take to get the truck to Bayang either way. And from there, of course, it's the same back to the quarry again. But this one doesn't have any of the steep climbs. So it feels a lot better, even if it isn't any faster, but at least the experience is a bit better. And for the amount of time that I'm spending here, I would like to have a fun time with it. We could go up here again, but we were there before. That's too empty. This is too empty. I could go to this one right here. Let's do that now. So yeah, if you're doing the Terra deliveries, I can recommend taking the coastal road. I still have to try out actually then switching over to the medium dirt road and going past the logging places and all that. But since there shouldn't really be too much of a climb, that might even be better than the northeast section of the coastal road, because that one has a steep climb, and I'm not really the biggest fan of that. Where am I? Oh, I'm actually taking the wrong road here. Can I save this without just jumping off the side here? Let's just keep going. Otherwise, we will just be doing the same route as before, and I don't want to just go that route again. This one, by the way, is the closest place to the loading area, and it has the lowest capacity, so you cannot really go there too often. I don't know if the production rate itself is slower, but yeah, just there not being enough to get 2 consecutive loads already seals the deal for it to not be visited all that often. But yeah, using the coastal road for the Terra deliveries so far has proven to be quite a bit more enjoyable in my opinion. And it even allowed me to set up a truck that can do 2 deliveries at once. It might have technically also been possible on the central road, but with how sluggish that one was to use already, I didn't really want to go there. So yeah, there's a few options here for the routes that you can use. They are usually a bit longer than the more straightforward one that the game is suggesting, but they also seem to be a bit more worthwhile, or at least more enjoyable, at least in my opinion. So yeah, highly recommend sticking to the coastal road and trying out the medium one. I don't know if I'll be doing another video on that whole thing, but I still have to try the medium one, and I'll definitely do that in between episodes at the very least. And I'm really happy that I found this out and am now just enjoying the route a bit more. Because otherwise, I like what the Terra Factory does for the game. I like that you have to bring over a lot of high-end resources in order to produce a vehicle. And if then the delivery of that vehicle isn't interesting and you are just not wanting to do those, yeah, I don't want to have the Terra Factory sit around there at the bottom of the map and me never going there to do anything with it. It would be quite a shame. So I'm happy that I now found a way to make that delivery job fun for myself, so that I can keep doing it without being annoyed by the game. And that's just gonna be better at the end. I always forget that you actually have to press another button in order to get the auto loading going. So A is the button that you usually press in order to confirm any single action, but Y is the button that I need to hold in order to get the auto loading. You know what, let's take a few slopes down here so that we don't have to deal with that long windy road. So let me see, I'm looking for something that's not too steep and potentially also has a nice transition to the flat ground. Not really the case here, but this should be alright. The truck is sturdy enough to do this kind of thing, which is fun. I can also use this part to slide down, so this should be alright. This is actually a place that the Atlas, even with a trailer, can go up, so yeah, it's also pretty good for these kind of shortcuts. Another thing that has been added recently, which I would quickly want to mention, is quicklime. So quicklime is actually a fertilizer which is produced at the cement factory from the limestone. You just have to, when you pick up the limestone down there, you actually have to pick a slightly different delivery location inside the same factory. You just have to keep an eye on the actual name. And yeah, that gives you a few pellets of quicklime in the end, and I gotta say, so far, it's an optional cargo. It will accelerate the production rate of any farm or plantation you deliver the stuff to. Personally, in single player, I don't really have a use for that because I don't use the farms all that often. But if you are on a server or even in a smaller session with a few people that are just constantly, let me just quickly refresh my vehicles here, that are just constantly doing seed deliveries, then yeah, you likely have some reason to use that kind of thing. I wouldn't mind if they added a job that required that quicklime delivery in order to be producing anything. I think that would be giving that a bit more importance. But having an optional cargo isn't really too bad either. Anyways, we are going to switch over to the Brutus right now. Just to show how that one is performing in the same circumstance over here. So that's gonna be using my mining setup because in the end it doesn't really matter too much. Oh, wait a second, I gotta check something. I got the feeling that... fuck. I rolled back my game update the other day. Or went back to the live branch. And apparently that deletes all your text, so yeah. Gonna have to redo them, that's not gonna be too much fun. Maybe I'll just... Can I reset my character to what I had before? Might be going with that instead, we'll have to see about it. But not having all my character data is kinda annoying because those tags took a while to establish. But yeah, quicklime right now is just completely optional and you don't really need it for anything necessarily. And even the plantation has a lot of other things that you can deliver there in order to get more stuff. Especially fuel seems to be very efficient with how much it helps out and lets it produce before it runs out again. By the way, I have no real plan on where I want to go, so let's quickly check that. We of course don't see how much stuff is available anymore because that's only a feature available to the Terra. But yeah, we can go up the hills. Yeah, I should have maybe shown you guys the shortcut, go up that way. We might do that the next time around. But I feel like it's already clear that this truck is going a bit quicker than the other one. Maybe fourth gear is a bit better. And we can even try to skip a few climbs here. Just like that. Where do I want to go from here? Let's just go straight. I think there should be enough available over there. Also, it's going to be interesting reversing into the unloading area with this truck. But I think it's also kind of fun. So that should be pretty good. But yeah, that kind of stuff it really depends on what you enjoy. I like myself a little challenge and that kind of maneuvering is something that I love doing every now and again. So let's load up the truck. And the trailer just like that. And now we just need to bring it back down again. The good thing about this truck is, well, since it does fit into the unloading areas, you can also simultaneously, or just after one or two jobs of delivering the limestone rocks, you can also just grab the process stuff and bring it up to the cement factory. So that's pretty nice. Giving you a bit of flexibility with that stuff. And once you come back to the quarry, you might as well just grab another load on the way down. Yeah, stuff like that can also be done. It's not quite as straightforward as with the Terra, it just has a bit... It has a wider build and those tires help out quite a bit. So you have to be a bit more careful with this one, but it's fun if you do it right. Okay, let's slow down a little bit so that we don't just jump off the ledge here. So that worked out pretty well. So now time for the unloading dance. Thankfully the delivery platform is pretty wide, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. We have enough space to deal with here. I mean, the wider the better for the Terra anyways. The problem is I'm a bit too much in the middle with my trailer. I mean, it's fine. I can basically bypass it on any side I want, but ideally I would have liked to start a bit further on either direction instead of being in the middle of the path here. Yeah, here we go, delivered the trailer, so let's unhook that real quick. And get the truck in place. Ka-ching. So let's see, I definitely want to go up here. And from there it's not going to be too useful, but maybe we go over here, or... I mean, I could make it up here to that one. Let's try that. Maybe I should just park my Terra right next to the place here so that I can quickly check on the stuff and then switch over to the Atlas for the actual delivery. Just pick which place I want to go to and then do that. I mean, doing testing I've done quite a few really weird things with the Terra. This might have not been enough run up. I don't know if we can do it like this. Maybe not. Was definitely possible in the past, but maybe I need to be a bit quicker here. Going straight here from that point might have not been good enough. But yeah, things that I did doing testing, since I didn't enjoy the Terra too much, I actually went into the Quarry with the rotator and just hooked up the Terra as if it was a giant trailer. You can even start the unloading from inside the rotator. It's pretty nice like that. That's what I'm talking about. Just need a bit more speed. When you can do it with momentum, don't even need to shift down or anything. So if anybody says the Terra is amazing because it can do all those shortcuts, this one isn't too bad either, and it can do shortcuts uphill, which the Terra is absolutely not going to do. I mean, I didn't test them too much, but I doubt what's going to be happening with it. At least not with this kind of ease. Okay, here we are. Let's see if the place has enough stuff. It should, hopefully. That was a bit of a dud. Might actually have to go to the other end of the quarry now. Yeah, a bit of slowdown from the sand, but nothing too crazy, and this looks actually like a pretty nice slope to go down on. So let's do that. I'll just check in on that part on the way, but I think I'll be going to the far one. And then we'll go to pick up some limestone and bring it over to the cement factory for the end here. So I can quickly show you guys a bit of a quick lamp as well. Even if we won't be doing any deliveries here. Yeah, that was to be expected. So yeah, next time we are definitely going to take care of some depot stuff because I'm getting a bit tired of refreshing my vehicles all the time. I need to start really thinking about setting up a proper depot network. I got a few spots that I definitely know what I want to do with, but others we'll have to see. We are still waiting on ARA properties as well, so at least the bus in that area, yeah, that's not gonna be automated anytime soon. 24, that's just a bit too little. I should have maybe picked up some stuff from the other end, but I thought this might pay a bit better. You know what, let's just bring down what we have here and then continue on. Really, I should have paced this out a little bit better, but I didn't. We can maybe stop by over here and get the trailer filled up completely on the way down. That should definitely have enough stock right now. But yeah, right now, I think the Atlas, especially with the dump trailer, is still going to be a bit more efficient in terms of bringing the stuff over to the rock crushing place. But driving both of them, they are doing different things for me, and I think both experiences are good in their own way right now. Might also really depend on your personal preference. Yeah, I also like that theoretically you can just skip around a lot of the stuff here. Using the Atlas is kinda hilarious. And especially having to deal with the trailer it's something that I really enjoy. Let's try to turn around over here. Ha! Nice. So yeah, I think at least the upgraded Terra is in a pretty good place right now. Despite, of course, the money issues. But yeah, once you have it and you compare it to the Atlas, at least for this job it's somewhere on the same level. Maybe not objectively if you really look at how much you can optimize running the Atlas. And also just being able to do the final delivery to the cement factory from here. The Atlas definitely has a lot more synergy. But yeah, the Terra at least, it's a fun one. Okay, let's see if I can make this better the second time around. Trying to get the trailer lined up properly. Even though I hate pulling it forward so far because this means that I just need to go back quite a bit longer, and it's just only gonna get more annoying the further back I go, but yeah. Please don't aim for the middle again, I hate this. Oh, you stupid thing. I'm trying to get the linky to pull this direction so that it turns the trailer a little bit, but it's really hard to get it to do exactly what I want. Because this is really like having two trailers, and the middle trailer is steering the back one. Whew, did it. But yeah, overall, while I could do without the constant automatic GPS thingy on the Terra, I like that you can actually see the stock on the pickup points. That's helping quite a lot. So here we go. Just gonna make it around these little hills in order to get to the actual pickup point. I think it's okay if I go below the belt elevator over here. And then we have the quicklime factory limestone drop and the cement factory limestone drop. They are both in the same locale, but this is worth 8 coins more per cubic meter, so this is definitely the one to go for right now. Doesn't really make a difference at all, but hey. We want more quicklime, maybe for later. I could even set up a route or do my own delivery to bring the quicklime over to at least the Baiyang warehouse. That might be a good idea. And yeah, this is of course now a heavy load. So gotta be careful about that one. Which way is it pointing me? Yeah, that seems like a reasonable route. I could also go over here and then through there. It might be a tiny bit quicker, not too sure, but we're gonna do it. But yeah, finally on even ground again, so I can at least pick up some speed. That might come really in handy for the next hill. It might not help at all. Also, last but not least, when it comes to the Terra, there's also a question about using it as a company vehicle. And first up, quantity-wise, you can also use the Atlas with trailer and all of that. So for ultimate capacity, this one is still better. The Terra has different running costs. It seems to be very low overall, and especially it has a bonus on off-road areas. So if you set it up for the quarry, it's going to be very cheap and running quite a long time. But it's also going to need a long time to get anywhere, because even if you are not in the area, from my testing, the Terra has been consistently slower than both the regular Atlas but also the Atlas with trailer. Been using all the vehicles fully upgraded as company AI, and yeah, the Atlases were just running laps around the Terra. So it kind of depends on what you want from it. But yeah, if you're ever close to the truck and trailer combined, the AI might not be able to handle some stuff here. I actually removed my AI Atlas and trailer combination from the quarry before making the video here, because it just constantly got stuck at the bottom of the quarry where it needs to turn around. So that was a bit of an issue. Okay, we should be on the top level in a moment. But yeah, as a company vehicle, of course, there aren't any restrictions with loading and unloading areas unless they are in heavy off-roading areas. But overall, you should be good on that front. Almost at the exit of the quarry now. And from there it's gonna be a bit of a trip still using the coastal road, which has gotten a bit of a change recently. There was a particularly nasty and kind of weird looking zigzag there, which got smoothed out. Overall, I don't think we should be doing that too often, but in that case, there wasn't really much of justification for that zigzagging to be there to begin with. So not having that looks a bit more natural. Weird how that guy just disappeared as I was looking past the lamppost there. Oh yeah, and I also built a depot over here doing testing. It's pretty good for the quarry route, although I think I need to rebalance it a little bit. But yeah, I got a quarry route which is basically the truck going into the quarry, doing 2 limestone rock deliveries, and then picking up the processed limestone to go to the cement factory, to both unloading places. And then stopping by the depot for a refresh and rinse and repeat. A bit of a climb once again. Yeah, we should be almost at the highest point, so we should be good here. There might be another one coming up, but yeah, that's not really... Oh, it's actually going up there. Never mind. Yeah, I think this part up ahead is where the little zigzag used to be, and that got smoothed over. We can still see it over here, so this used to be actually pretty crazy. And the route that it takes now is actually a shortcut that I used to take. Because basically there was this little hill coming up to the side, which then went into a dip before it reached the road. But if you hit the hill at the right angle, you would actually have a really smooth transition from the road to the hill and then back onto the road once the weird little corners are over. And now I'm just doing it naturally, which makes much more sense. Yeah, we can see a few rough outlines from Anson Raceway over here. Another few sections up ahead from different parts of the map. This is really shaping up to be something quite nice. Okay, here we are at the cement factory. Let's use the regular entrance for once, even though I could just shortcut across the dirt where it doesn't really make a difference. But yeah, now we have finally a reason to use the second unloading bay. I remember having a chat about this whole thing when the factory got added. And yeah, I said that it was maybe a bit weird that we were always unloading to the same ramp over here. And the devs said that they had something in mind. So we'll see if that also applies to the other two, which aren't really used right now, but I mean, for now at least we have a reason to get into the second bay. So here we go. And yeah, with with a quick climb, I wouldn't mind at some point bringing it over to Baiyang, or yeah, the Oldly Gate warehouse. Maybe at some point I want to redo some of my food supply stuff, so that maybe there's going to be a separate route for the Lijo side of things and one for Oldly. And they may just be interfacing with each other through a warehouse. Although then there would likely also be a lot of things that are just going into the warehouse and out of it all the time. So it might not be that efficient. Right now it's all either pickup spots at the farms or drop-off spots at the supermarkets. If I go to bring stuff to the warehouse, it might just be a lot of cargo going into the warehouse for no apparent reason. But yeah, we've done our delivery. We are going to get a bit of quick lamp over here, and it can be picked up right here. Maybe we'll get a building around this at some point, but right now it's maybe a bit basic. But here we can see the different farms, and should also have something for the plantation. Oh, it's called the Sunflower Farm, okay. But yeah, so far so good. We'll see what they do with it from this point on. Right now, I don't really see a good reason for myself to use it. I would be going out of my way to incorporate this into something, but that might be different in the future, who knows. But yeah, let's park up the truck and end the episode here. It's pretty long already, and honestly, today it's so hot in here. It's just got really hot in Germany, and it's just I'm trying to keep it together, but I'm slowly falling apart and dissolving into a puddle onto the floor. So time to end the episode. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good one. Don't let the weather get the best of you. So until next time, have a good one and bye bye.